I was born in 1953. My sisters Diane and Anne were born in 56 and 59. My parents, Marlene and Edward L. Robin, met and married in World War II. My mother's family emigrated from Bukovina, Romania, which is now in Ukraine, in the 1890s as well. They homesteaded in Saskatchewan, Canada before coming to America to North Redondo Beach in the 1920s. The family was Romanian and Ukrainian Orthodox, so my mother converting to Judaism to marry my father was not without controversy. I attended Carthay Center Elementary School in LA and went on to after-school Hebrew school 5 days a week. I graduated as valedictorian of my Hebrew school class. I consider myself culturally Jewish, but like many, I only see the inside of a synagogue on Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur. I attended Hamilton High School in Los Angeles. In 1970, in 12th grade, 2 girls came up to me and invited me to come with them to UCLA International Student Center on Friday night for international folk dancing. I had no idea what that was, but I quickly learned so many dances from the Balkans and all over the world, and I was hooked. I didn't know at the time, but that would set me off onto a course to where I am today. Beginning as a student at UCLA in 1971, I was an English major because I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up. I took classes in dances of Yugoslavia and a class in ethnomusicology, learning to play Bulgarian folk instruments. That class was led by a grad student who was also a member of the Amman Folk Ensemble. At the time, Amman was an all-volunteer, 100-dancer-musician company that performed in major venues like the Music Center downtown. Another Amman musician took the UCLA ethnomusicology tamburica instruments and put together an ensemble to play music of Serbia and Croatia. So if I got proficient at playing the celovich, one of the tamburica instruments, maybe I could get into Amman performing. Performing with Amman was the ultimate achievement for anyone who's interested in performing Balkan music and dance. I switched my major to ethnic arts, which included ethnomusicology, ethnic dance, folklore mythology, and theater. I began playing with Amman in 1972, and by 1976, I had become a member of their small, new chamber ensemble of 4 musicians and 8 dancers. We formed the nucleus of the larger touring company, and in between tours, we worked in the office and performed in hundreds of elementary schools all around LA. Along the way, I learned to play many other instruments. By the late 70s, I was also Amman's company manager. In 1984, Amman was granted an Apple original small one-piece Macintosh, and I learned how to use it. I was the only one in the office who wasn't afraid of it. In 1986, Lars Hansen, Amman's executive director, left Amman to co-found a Broadway musical theater production company in Pasadena. I joined them as marketing director, and I taught myself how to program on an MS-DOS IBM computer, programming in DBase. One day, Lars dropped a heavy box on my desk. It was Aldus PageMaker 1.0 using Windows 1.0. That later evolved into Adobe InDesign, and that was the beginning of my career as a graphic designer. In 1988, I left that theater company and started my own graphic design business, J. Robin and Associates. I've worked from home ever since, all because I said yes to 2 girls to go in high school to go folk dancing. While I've enjoyed many types of social dance for over 50 years now, including international folk dancing, ballroom and swing, square dancing and round dancing, the type of dancing I've come to enjoy most is New England contra dancing. It's easy, there's a great community of people, there's always live music, and I don't have to choreograph while I'm leading like with ballroom or swing dancing. One nice tradition is that you change partners for every dance, so you dance with a lot of people. The first contra dance I attended was around 73, 74 in Santa Monica. And prior to COVID, there was a contra dance every Saturday night, either on the west side or around Pasadena, South Pasadena. And I came all the time. Fortunately, now in 2023, local dances are starting to come back. In addition to local dances that attract usually 40 or 50 or 60 people, I've lost count of how many contra dance weekends I've attended over the years. With upwards of 300 dancers and multiple bands and callers, these are really special occasions that draw people from all over the country. One of the annual weekends I was attending was May Madness, held in Prescott, Arizona. In 2010, I met Tobin, who had come up from Tucson. We danced a few times over the weekend, and there were some sparks, but Tucson to LA didn't seem so feasible. In 2012, I attended the Labor Day Dance-Away Contra Dance Weekend in Julian, California, and there was Tobin. Well, we connected, and we haven't been apart since, except for her still working in Tucson as a hospital pharmacist. Fortunately, her work schedule was 1 week on, 1 week off, so she visited Pasadena quite often, coming out usually by Amtrak train, and I'm so grateful that she made that trip for so many years. In 2020, Tobin finally retired, and we are now together full-time in Pasadena. We enjoy dancing, cooking together, especially Middle Eastern, Persian, and Indian food, gardening, and Phoebe, our adopted Whippet Husky mix. So if it hadn't been for contra dancing, I wouldn't have met the love of my life.